You're going to be hearing today from Myra Roldan. Myra is a visionary thought leader and a powerhouse keynote speaker with decades of experience in artificial intelligence and disruptive technologies such as blockchain and mixed reality. As a LinkedIn top artificial intelligence voice, Myra excels at demystifying complex technologies, making them accessible and engaging for diverse audiences. Beyond her speaking engagements, Myra is a builder with extensive hands-on applied knowledge in the AI space. She also plays a crucial advisory role for public policy officials and US-based colleges and universities, helping shape the future of AI policy and education. Myra has also written an article for the November and October issues of L10 Focus on Training magazine. The October issue is releasing tomorrow, and we're going to be giving you all a sneak preview today of Myra's October article, Embracing Generative AI in the Workplace. I'm going to be dropping a PDF of that article in the chat window shortly here, and you can download that from the chat window or reach out to me if you need, and you'll be able to see the full issue on the L10 website soon. And one more thing before I turn things over to Myra, speaking of sharing, I'm going to share a quick video. We were supposed to be joined today by Dr. Carl Kopp of Commonwealth University as our speaker, but unfortunately a real world conflict came up with Carl, and he sends his apologies and this pretty cool little video. Let me go ahead and get that started for you.
Welcome. Hello, I am AI-powered Dr. Kopp, and I am excited to be here. I did not record this video or speak these words. I am 100% AI generated from a video of the physical Dr. Kopp. AI-powered tools provide us with many opportunities and a few pitfalls to avoid. We will discuss the pitfalls and potential of AI today in this exciting session. Now, unfortunately, the physical Dr. Kopp could not be here today due to an unforeseen conflict, but he's left you in great hands with Myra. Myra is an expert in AI, and we'll talk about how to understand and discuss key AI concepts and terminology relevant to L&D, and she'll discuss some immediate and long-term impacts of AI on learning and development in the life sciences, including how AI can enhance personalized learning and streamline training processes. Myra will also discuss practical strategies for integrating AI into your learning and development initiatives, ensuring your programs remain innovative and effective in an evolving technological landscape. Have a great webinar, everyone.
All right. Myra, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to turn things over to you now. And again, thanks for being here, for stepping in for Carl today. Myra, I think you're muted.
Yeah,
There
thank you. There it goes. Everyone should put that on their bingo card. So it looks like you need to stop sharing so I can share. Perfect. All right. So I am going to share my screen with you all. So we're going to be doing some fun things today. Okay, so Dr. Kopp reached out to me and asked me if I could do this session for him. And I was like, yes, I will. And we're going to be talking about understanding AI and L&D. And I hope to make this interactive. So I'm going to be asking you to put your thoughts into chat. So be sure to, participate today. So next, I want to share that ELB is sponsoring this session, and they've given us 2 slides to share with you. So they have some innovative software that you should check out. And I believe that you're going to get a PDF of the slides at the end of this session via email. And there's a link to their solution. And they do have some AI integration that you could check out. So now let's get to the goals of today. So today we're going to be focusing on practical application, ensuring that you leave with tools to identify and address bias in AI and secure your data effectively in your work. We're going to begin by discussing some challenges with AI, followed by some hands-on. I'm going to do a demo. You'll be able to follow along. And then each segment is designed to build your skills in using AI responsibly. I truly believe that responsible AI is all of our responsibility, especially because it's evolving so quickly. So be sure to take notes. If you have questions, don't wait to the end, pop them into the chat. I will be monitoring the chat also as good as I can, and we'll take moments to answer questions there also. And if you haven't already told us where you're dialing in from, be sure to put that in the chat too, because I love to see that we're global. So how many of you, give me some hearts if you are ready for a pop quiz? Yeah. Uh, I love to start off by baselining our knowledge. So I think it's important to level set, right? So we can make sure that we're all on the same page. So I have a 3-question quiz for you that you will be able to answer. So let me bring it up. I want to make sure that it's working. It's loading. So you can join here. And I'm going to leave this up for a second to give everyone a chance to join. Okay, here we go. Love seeing people join. So I'm on 2 monitors. So if I'm looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at a very large TV because I'm using it as my second monitor. So let's see. I see everyone joining. Yay. Waiting for a few more. I promise I'm not going to grade you on this. We are just level setting and giving us some food for thought here too. So don't be afraid. This is all in fun. Want to know why this is all in fun? Because AI is still new for everyone. So I do not expect you to know it all. So I see a question by Laura, how do I join? So it's slido.com and then you enter that code, the 3385041, or you can scan it with your phone to join with your phone. So you can either use your laptop or your phone. Giving people a few more minutes to join, a few more seconds, not minutes. So we're about to get this party started. All right, give me a thumbs up if you are ready to get started with the poll here, or not the poll, but the quiz. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first question, which term refers to the ability of generative AI models to generate realistic images that do not exist in the real world? I think this one's a little tricky, maybe. So for this one, I'll give you a hint too. Think of fake news. All right, let's see how many of you got this one. All right, 80% of you said deep fake, and that's correct. So a deep fake is a video that is a represent, they take like someone's persona, like the video we saw of Dr. Kopp, that was not really him speaking. It was an avatar, and he entered text and the avatar spoke that. That's a deep fake. So that is the epitome of a deep fake. A sentiment analysis is when you kind of analyze data to see how people are feeling. Natural language processing is a form of AI that uses voice. And then neural networks, and we'll talk about this, neural networks are more of a web of, like, think the nodes in your brain. Okay, let's go to our next question. Let's see. Okay. Why is generative AI becoming increasingly popular in the business world? Again, this one might be a little tricky. So if you're thinking about it, we're about to move to the answer. Are you ready? Ready, steady? All right, let's see. Let's see if my computer will cooperate. There we go. So the correct answer is that it enables the creation of realistic synthetic data for various applications. And we'll talk about data. So data is an important part of generative AI specifically. It does not eliminate the need for privacy. I'm glad to see that you guys did not do that. It does not actually reduce the need for human labor either. So we'll share a little bit more about that. So your jobs are not at stake right now. Let's go to the next one. Okay, when it comes to generative AI, what is the term used to describe the process of a model generating text that is coherent and contextually relevant? So I want you to key into some words there. Think about model generating text that is coherent and contextually. Okay, let's see. This language modeling. So when it comes to generative AI, the key terms here, generative AI, modeling, and generating text. So generative AI is a language model. And so it only does language modeling right now. When we're talking about like large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Bard, all those. So now in the chat, I'd like you to enter and share what generative AI tools have you used for text generation and also for image generation. Copilot, ChatGPT, I see a lot of ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, yep, Copilot. Perplexity is my favorite. Okay, so a lot of Bing for images, Hi, Midjourney, Vox, Leonardo, Copilot, 11 Labs, Google Notebook. I love Google Notebook. That's addictive. Google Natural LM, Clue Labs. All right, so we have a lot of good tools here. So now, what I want to do is let's talk about there we go. Oh, wait, our results. Sorry. So we had winners. I forgot that I had a results screen here. So Christy, you were the fastest and you got all three answers right. So yay, let's give Christy a round of applause. So give me the applause emoji, guys. Do the applause emoji for Christy. Yay. I always say, listen, I love emojis. So I'm going to be asking you to use emojis and to be entering text into the chat. So thank you. And congratulations, Christy, Dana, Raina, Carly, and Tim. Woo, woo. They need to have sound effects in Zoom. Okay, so let's get moving now. So let's talk about AI as a whole, right? So we just had fun with the quiz that we did, and I want to make sure that we develop a common language and a mental model. I love using mental models to really explain complex concepts. So this here is a diagram that we use to explain what AI is, right? So, but this is such a meaningless graphic. It's just concentric circles. It doesn't show the relationship between all of them because, like, I would put deep learning somewhere else. Generative AI is completely missing from here. It should be the little yellow circle. That was my bad. But this is a poor depiction. I like to think of AI as a car because AI is a system. And so we're going to build a mental model with a car and actually have some pictures for you. Okay, so artificial intelligence can be considered the car body. Think of AI as the body of the car, and it gives it structure and purpose and defines what the vehicle is meant to do. whether it's a really like snazzy sports car or a sturdy family car, sedan, or a heavy duty truck that, can haul like a boat or cargo. The car's design tells you what it's built for. And so with artificial intelligence, like traditional artificial intelligence, each AI solution is a framework that holds everything together, and it shapes what the system can do and how it performs. So performance is an interesting bit here, right? Because in traditional AI, when you build a model, you're building it for a very specific purpose. So think Netflix, right? Netflix is using AI. And so it can only do movie recommendations within Netflix. It cannot generate text for you. It cannot help you do your taxes. It cannot help you write an email. It can only do movie recommendations. When you shop on Amazon and you see like other people purchase these things, that is a recommendation system. That is AI. It can do very specific tasks and it's only recommend products within Amazon. It can't recommend products from other vendors. So the AI systems are built for very specific use cases. And so they're used for like, it could be automating tasks, making predictions, or creating personalized experiences. So then machine learning is the engine of the car. And it's like what makes the car move, right? The engine, just like that, just like machine learning, is the power source that drives AI. Whether it's gas, diesel, electric, it determines how fast or efficient the car is. And machine learning is the heart of AI. It takes in all the data, it processes it, it does the processing, and it outputs it. Different machine learning algorithms, just like different engine types, are built for different jobs. So it's not like one model does it all. And they convert raw data into decisions or predictions, fueling the AI system's core function. Then we have deep learning. And I'm telling you, like my analogy for a car, this is where it gets really like, I'm stretching it a little bit, but think of deep learning as high octane fuel that powers the engine. So without fuel, without data, the engine just sits there. So without deep learning, machine learning wouldn't be able to handle the heavy lifting of complex tasks. And the better the fuel, so the better the data, the better the engine performance. And the same goes with AI. The more high quality data deep learning is fed, the more powerful and accurate it becomes. Deep learning is what supercharges AI and makes it capable of tackling sophisticated data heavy challenges. And so within there, we also have artificial neural networks, right? So the artificial neural networks are really meant to like mimic the brain. And so you can think of that like a web of Teslas, which I can go down a rabbit hole with that. And then there's generative AI. So this is a transformer. I call it the transformer. So this is where it gets really fun. And the car can change its form, right? It can go from a car into being something totally different. It can turn into a transformer, right? If you've seen the movie Transformers, where the car turns itself from, just being a car into this big robot. So that would be generative AI, because what it's doing is creating something completely new from something that's pre-existing. So it's taking that form of a car and re-engineering it to be a giant robot. And it doesn't just follow instructions, it can generate new content, it's context aware, and it can make the content feel fresh and new. So yeah, so this is kind of like the way I like to break this down. And I see that Jorge Cardona has put some comments in here that you have 2 grant AI divisions, predictive and generative AI. Yeah, and I think it's more than just predictive because there's other versions of traditional AI. So I like to think of it as traditional AI and generative AI, because under traditional AI, there's computer vision, there's natural language processing, there are a bunch of other ones. But just to give you a mental model, this is it. And think about this. Where does a car go without a driver? Unless it's an autonomous car, right? It goes nowhere without a driver. So the driver has to put the keys and it has to give it the inputs. And so that's where your dashboard is, your user interface, where you interact with the AI, and the steering wheel and controls represent the human input and guiding systems, and the navigation system. Well, that's where the decision-making algorithms happen, right? It's helping the AI figure out the best route to get to its destination. And so, yeah, this is my analogy for explaining AI, which I think does a better job than a bunch of circles with words in them. So I hope that you found this useful. Give me a thumbs up if you feel that they gave you a mental model to use and that you would be able to use this to explain it to other people. All right, great. And feel free to steal this analogy. Yeah, I appreciate some attribution. If you just tell people like Myra told us this, that would be great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to jump in, and I have a little game for us to play. And so this is going to the game is called Name That Tune. So it's a lyric game, right? So what I want you to do is, in the chat, I want you to read each of these little post-it notes, and I want you to, hold on. I want you to fill in the lyrics that you think go in each of these. So you could do 1, 2, 3 with the lyrics and put it in the chat. So I want you to keep an eye on the answers that are in the chat. Okay, so we have some people said for number 1 is world. For number 2, some people are saying wrecking ball. It looks like a lot of people are saying wrecking ball. For number 3, I saw baby, baby. Yep, I saw love, come. I love this. Aliens for number 1. We are the aliens, my friend. One more time. For number 2, carbon carbon bubble. Champion for each of those. Okay, so I'm going to give you the answers. So for the first one, it is we are the champions, my friends. Okay, for number 2 is I came in like a wrecking ball. So you got that. It looks like a lot of people got that one right. And then for the last one, which is a very tricky one for a lot of people, and I think number 1 was tricky also, is baby shark, 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 baby shark, 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 right? So what you did is you behaved like a large language model. So large language models do the exact same thing that you did. You pulled from your memory bank, right? From the context that you have, because I didn't give you a lot of context. I said, these are some lyrics. you pulled from your memory bank and you, sorry, and you now did text prediction based on the words that came before and the words that came after. So you weighed out the options to figure out which were the words that fit into the lyrics. And so that is exactly what a large language model does. So this is, I oversimplified it, right? But the process that you went through is exactly what happens in a large language model. And I'm sorry for giving you all earworms. But let's go into more into this, like how does this work, right? So let's go into, let's see if I can move my mouse. There we go. How many of you have heard of the token economy? Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the token economy. Okay, I see a few thumbs up there. Tokens in generative AI in the generative AI world are the smallest building blocks that the AI models process. So it's a token. So we can think of it as a coin. I was looking to see if I have a coin anywhere. I don't have a coin. So tokens can be full words, can be part of words, they can be characters, and even punctuation marks. And every time you interact with the generative AI system like ChatGPT, your input is broken down into these tokens. And most AI services will charge based on how many tokens your request uses. So knowing how many tokens you're working with can help you get the more out of your AI system and keep the costs down, especially if you're working with, let's say, the API. So ChatGPT has a web-based interface that you can like interact with. That's what everyone uses. But when you're building an app, you are more likely working with the API, which is just a connector to ChatGPT. And so you can put like a different front face to it. So let's look at these tokens. So who could tell me what movie this phrase is from? Do you know The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. She's married to the Muffin Man. Yeah, Shrek. Okay, so you guys get points for that. So let me give you this example. So the longer and more detailed the prompts, the more tokens you use, and it adds up quickly. So you got to be mindful, like as you're using it, because believe it or not, even when you use the $20 version of ChatGPT, there is a token limit. Once you hit that limit, it'll tell you come back tomorrow. It used to happen more at the very beginning because the token was a little bit more limited, but tokens limits shape how you interact with AI. So for instance, for this specific sentence, right? Do you know the Muffin Man? The question. The way it breaks it down is it breaks it down into like, do you know the Muffin Man? Question mark. The question mark is also a token. And what it does, tokens are about 4 characters, give or take. So when you look at this and you're thinking about like, if you wanted to do a cool party trick with your friends, is you can just write a phrase down and break it down into syllables, right? But break it down into like syllables of 4. So you can say, how many tokens are in this? Guess, that you can tell them like, there's 8 tokens, it's 27 characters. I don't know. I impress my friends all the time with that party trick. But let me just tell you, so ChatGPT can process up to 4,096 tokens at once, allowing you to ask complex multi-layered questions within that limit. So you notice that if you've ever asked it ChatGPT a question or Gemini, and it gives you like a really long answer, but then it cuts off, it leaves like mid-sentence, it's because it's reached its max token output. And all you have to do is like type in continue and hit enter, and it'll continue its thought because it'll pick up where it left off. And going over the token limit cuts off part of your request in the response, right? And what's exciting is that many AI services are shifting to token-based pricing models, making AI more accessible to a wider range of users. So instead of paying like a flat fee, users pay for what they use. Because like if you're only using it a few times a day and you're not really using it for anything big, why would you have to pay like a higher model price, right? So if you have a personal chat GPT and you're just using the free version, you have a shorter token limit, right? And a number of like outputs. And I saw someone mention Strawberry. So ChatGPT has released different models. So they released Strawberry, which has now it's called also they have the 4.0 with Canvas. And so it has a larger token model, uh pricing model attached to it, and it may result in a higher pricing eventually from OpenAI. Um, but it's the way that AI is monetized. So that's all it is. Tokenization is how AI is monetized by these AI companies. And if for those of you who have ever played a penny slot or played any kind of casino game, you know that those pennies or those nickels or those quarters add up very quickly. And the same happens with tokens. So don't be surprised, where you think, oh, it's only 8 tokens, but when you add it up over time, that can get really expensive. So a company that's using the API for like an app, you could really run up a big bill. So if you think your company's thinking about creating an app, you keep in mind like the tokenization part of it. Okay, so with tokens, we need to know and we want to maximize like the number of tokens that we use, right? So we should be using like a prompt framework. So prompts are the instructions that you give to the AI. And this is a framework that I like to use called the RICE framework. So in the RICE framework, what you do and what it stands for is role, instructions, context, and examples. When you have a structure for your prompts, you'll get better outputs from the AI. So right now, if you go to the AI and you say you copy an email and you're like, write a response to this email, to this user, blah 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 blah, and reply, right? And it does generate what you want, but if you give it an example of how you traditionally reply to the emails you're getting, and if you give it a role and a little bit more detailed instructions, you're going to get a better output, and it'll learn over time to answer in that same way over time. So by structuring your prompts with the 4 elements, you're really guiding the AI to respond in a way that fits your needs, reduces ambiguity, and leads to more accurate outputs. It's like giving it a roadmap to follow and ensuring it understands not just what you want, but the context behind it. So what I like to do is before typing my prompts into AI, I will put it into a notepad. So I use Notion, and in Notion, I have prompts that I've written, especially when they're detailed prompts. And this way I can create my own database of prompts, and you can categorize and make it searchable. And then once you're happy with your prompt, you just copy and paste it into the generative AI. And that way you can actually reduce the amount of time it takes you to iterate on that prompt if you have to do that. So how many of you have gotten into the habit of saving your prompts? And I will give you an example, definitely. Okay, so a few of you have gotten into that habit. Let me open up my Notion really quick here. Let's see if it'll pop open. Oh, I have it open already. Let me just see. Okay, and we're going to use this really quick. So let me see if I can bring this over into my other screen and put it over. Okay, here we go. So here's an example of a prompt that uses the RICE framework. And what I did here is I say, you are an expert taskmaster, can't even talk, who has knowledge of generative AI in a specific space. And then I give it some example. I give it the context of what I want it to do. And then I'm asking it to output very specifically. What I do with this also is I have a matrix that I will upload with this prompt. So then it knows what I'm looking for. And so the output will be in the way that I want the output to be. And what I'll do is I'm happy to put this into the chat really quick so you guys can dissect it. Let me see if I have the upload that goes with that also. So this is the sample prompt. I know with Notion, you don't need Canvas anymore, but I use Canvas for so many other things. I mean, Notion, I use Notion for so many things. Okay, so, and I'm going to show you how to do this because we're going to actually look at some practical AI integrations. And I'm going to walk you through a quick demo. So this demo is going to walk you through how to use the RISE framework, how I use it, and how to get the right outputs that you're looking for. And I'm just going to do a quick time check. We still have time. We're good on time. Look at this. Okay. Oh, it doesn't let you copy and paste from chat. Okay. What I'll do is I will publish in a minute and I'll share that Notion with you in a website. Okay. I believe Elton will be sharing this with everyone. Okay. So let's go into the practical AI applications. I made this graphic a year ago. Basically it's generative AI plus, global knowledge and enterprise knowledge, create some enablement in specific areas. And then you are the knowledge worker using AI enabled apps, and you can do a bunch of stuff with it. This list has grown since I created it. And then there's some important considerations. We call them threats. There's ethics, privacy, and safety. Okay. And if you want to take a screenshot of this, I will leave it up for a second. And this is like the theory of things when it comes to AI. So I want you to think about this is how do you harness the potential of AI and where do we get started? That is the number one question I get all the time, right? So how do you go from concept to action? And we've heard a lot of like AI's potential to change the workplace, but the real magic happens when we take that theory and put it into practice. And generative AI is like, it's a huge buzzword for a lot of people, but it's really a tool. And I want you to think about that. It's not going to replace you. It's a tool that you can use to automate some of your work, create content, produce products or product ideas. You can use it to generate some compliance materials. You can use it for customer service. And what I tell people is when you're thinking about these tools, think small and start tiny. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the best way to leverage AI is through tiny, manageable experiments. So if you're not sure what the use cases are just yet, experiment. I like the idea, I call them tiny experiments because they're experiments that don't take a lot of, they have a lower level of effort where you can measure the efficiency of what you're trying to do. And then you can gather that data to build a business case, right? And think of the practical impacts. Like a lot of times, what people are using AI for is like, oh, give me a recipe, right? Or I need to fix the grammar here, or I need to improve this text. Those are great use cases, but you can help it for decision making, problem solving, and even for fraud detection when you're not sure. And then at the core of it is ethics. And quoting, making the quote from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And as we integrate AI into our processes deeper, the big question we face isn't just how to use it, but how to use it responsibly, how to use AI responsibly. And that's about protecting data privacy, about safety. It covers so many things. Okay. so the question here by Laura is, the list of how AI reshape work is mostly positive. Are there any potential negative ways AI will reshape work? So I wouldn't say there's negative ways that AI will reshape work, but there are negative ways in which people will use AI, right? And so one of the biggest issues that I see right now is people ingesting or uploading confidential information, customer information that contains PII, trade secrets, especially into like your own version. Like, let's say you're working at a company that's restricted the use of AI, and you're like, okay, I'm going to email this to myself. I'm going to use AI in my computer to get this work done. You upload that data into the AI, and let's say it has like clinical data, or it has customer data, or it has research data that hasn't been released. Even if you have that $20, you pay the $20 for ChatGPT. If you read the terms of service, it says that it will not train the AI on your data. But if you read deeper, it does say that some of the data may be used to improve or build new tools. And it's not buried in, it's buried like in another section. So reading those terms of services are really big. And so that would be one of the biggest issues that it brings to like your work environment, because then you send that back, those company secrets are out. The other issue is if you don't validate, if you don't take the time to read the AI output. I've seen so many people just have AI output stuff and then they copy and paste it and send it or publish it. And that's how we get some fake news because of AI hallucinations. And hallucination doesn't mean that AI is lying. It just means that the AI is it's just like giving you the extra that it thinks because it's predicting, right? It's trying to figure out like, what are you looking for exactly? And maybe this is what you're looking for, and it makes some stuff up. And it doesn't know that it's lying. It is a machine. So it has no conscience. It has no sense of what's wrong and right unless it's programmed into it. So now if you ask generative AI to do something that's questionable or maybe harmful, it'll tell you, no, I can't do that. But we also have to be comfortable. You have to figure out like what's the level of error and bias that you're comfortable with when you're using AI. Great questions. Okay, so let's go here. I want to make sure we have like a little time left. Oops, popping my headphones out. So I want to go in here and let's do this little exercise. I want to show you a practical way to use AI in your workflow. And this is just one example. It is not every example. And if you want to follow along, you can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down a task. So I'm going to break down a task to figure out what are the tasks that I can give AI and what are the tasks that I need to keep from AI. What are the tasks I can share with AI? So I have this chart here. We created this matrix to help some of our customers understand the different ways that they could use AI in general to figure out what tasks could they give to AI and what tasks they need to separate, just because they were really asking for this and they weren't sure, like, how do we do this? So I've been creating frameworks for customers to use throughout because I think this is really important for me to do for them. So let me go back here and I'm gonna open up my ChatGPT here. Sorry, I have a lot of things open. Okay, let's go back here so I can open up ChatGPT and I'm gonna pull it over this slide here. Oh, wrong direction. Okay, so this is my ChatGPT. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload that matrix right here. So that matrix is in there. And then I'm gonna copy and paste. I have a task already preloaded. And I'm gonna say, oh, actually, let's do a different one. You want to do building a storyboarding? Okay, so let's do this here. You are a seasoned instructional designer, and I cannot type, so don't judge me. You are, you are tasked with evaluating, let's see, breaking down tasks. To identify subtasks and then figure out what tasks can be given to AI, shared with AI, or kept from AI. The goal is to create a matrix similar to the sample given. Use the data in the matrix as a decision tree. The output should be in matrix format for use within our operating guide in the L&D department of XYZ Pharma. Okay, so I gave it a role, I gave it instructions, I gave it context, and I gave it an example. So I used the RICE framework in here. And you don't have to do in the RICE, like, as long as you get all of the letters in there, you're good. Okay, so let's see what it does. So this is one way that you can get started trying to, if you don't know where to start, like what can you give to AI and what should you keep from AI? What, where can it go? So here is the main task flows. And I forgot to put in here storyboard, so you're gonna have to forgive me. But these are the tasks that it came up with, right? Actually just re-spit out. Oh, compliance training, here it goes. Compliance training, data-driven recommendations for improvements. So it gave us high-level tasks that are done within L&D. And then it says, okay, task complexity and creativity, basic content updates can be given to AI, creative content development can be shared, and then strategic L&D planning and innovation should be kept from AI. So you can create a chart like this, and then you can go in and break this down even further. So let's say this one where it says to share. And we're going to ask it to, okay, break this task down into subtasks and classify by give to AI, share with AI, keep from AI. Okay. And because it's already in this whole framework of what we're going to keep, what we're going to share, it already knows what we're looking for. So it's giving you a classification system in here also. So like we have two things to share with AI, meaning that you have to have some interaction also, some things that you can just give to AI, some things you should keep from AI. So like right here, this subtask. And so this is a way for you to start kind of building a picture of like, what are the tasks that we can actually, and then you share that with your team, right? To figure out what you can work on and how you can start to integrate AI. One of the other things that I want to share with you is this whole concept of bias, because I see in here that negative is the amplification of bias, and that's huge. So I'm going to show you an example of how we can mitigate bias. So there is this theory called fair thinking prompts, and I'm going to put that in the chat here. Fair thinking prompts. And all you're doing is you're asking the AI to consider perspectives. So I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm going to ask a question here that is very, is something of contention for people. So I'm going to ask it to tell us. Okay, you are a geoscientist. You are a theoretical physicist. We want information about flat Earth. Keep it simple and give us facts. Okay, so I just asked it a simple question, right? And I'm using this one because it's controversial and I want to show you what we can do with this. So it says, sure, I can explain it, why the Earth is not flat, right? So it's saying like, okay, I'm not going to tell you about flat Earth, but I'm going to tell you why the Earth is not flat. So it gave me these things. And so I'm going to say, and this is a simple prompt you can do. Identify your biases in the response just provided. List them and tell me how to mitigate this in the future. Okay, so because it can't lie, right? It doesn't lie. It doesn't know how to, it doesn't know that it's in trouble, right? It doesn't know that it's bad or it's good or whatever. So it responded with these are the biases that might have included in my response, right? So assumptions of scientific consensus, authority bias, simplification, and then to mitigate these biases in the future is presenting multiple perspectives. So telling the AI to consider multiple perspectives. That way you get a different response, clarifying uncertainties, and then detailing the methodology, asking it to detail that. So this is fair thinking prompting can help you to suss out some of that bias. So if you're researching something, this could really be a matter of figuring out how do you identify those biases so then you can decide what's your threshold for bias and the content that you're generating. So let's say you're creating a storyboard or you're creating learning content and you want to make sure that it's fair and accessible. You can tell it, can you make this accessible? Ask it to identify any potential biases, ask it to rate its like accessibility and stuff. So you can actually do that with generative AI. And it's all about the fair thinking prompting. And so fair thinking prompting has not been widely adopted yet. It is a research paper that some data scientists have been working on. I've just happened to get on it early on. I've been tinkering it with it also and just, having some communication with them. But this is definitely a method that we can use. Okay. So I know that we're covering a lot here and we have like, Tim, do we have like 6 minutes left?
Yeah, sorry, Myra, something like that. Maybe a little bit
Okay.
more if we need to go a little over, we can.
Okay, great. So, because I do want to touch on making smart choices around tools. But before I do that, I would love for you guys to scan this code and give me some feedback on this because this helps me improve the presentation over time. So if you guys can take a few minutes to just scan here really quick and when you actually answer the survey, you're going to get a goodie from me also, which is my research on AI tools, which we're going to discuss next. So you'll get a link to download the list of AI tools. And I just want to walk through how to make those smart choices with AI tools. Oh, sorry, you're still seeing ChatGPT. Huh, there we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, so in this when you complete this little survey just to give me feedback, you're going to get a link to my AI research. What I would do is like feel free to download it, make a copy for yourself, come back regularly because I'm adding more tools that I'm evaluating for you. Like people send me requests. You can even send me a request via LinkedIn and recommend some tools that I add to my list. And what I do is I give you some information on how to evaluate your tools yourself. So I'm going to leave this up for a few more seconds, and I can come back to it later if you didn't get a chance to go to it. So there's a QR code and there's a link right here. I want to thank you for doing this. So one powerful course or online, to use ChatGPT better. So I'm actually launching a cohort in January. I have an AI Academy. We can follow me on LinkedIn. We'll be posting a link for that. I would say don't rely on a single source. In our courses, we share multiple sources so you can compare. But there aren't any like golden books just yet. You can tinker around with some Udemy courses. They have some good content, LinkedIn Learning, so you can start learning the foundations of whatever it is that you want to get better at. And like I said, I'll be posting a link to our cohort. I think we're posting later this week. Okay, so I hope everyone got to scan this code or get the URL so I can go on and speak to you about making better AI choices, because we have 3 minutes. So when evaluating AI tools, this is what I use. This is the data that I use when evaluating an AI tool. So I want to know, like, what's the cost of the tool? What are the terms of use? What are the system integrations? Does it work with other systems? Is it standalone? What's the security? How is the data stored and used? And then what's the country of origin? So country of origin is important because a lot of companies will not use tools or allow tools that store data outside of the US. And I've learned that very quickly. Not only in my own work, but working with other customers where they have given me a list of countries that they will allow tools from, but there are a list of countries that they will not, if the tool is there, they won't use it. So this is what you'll find in my research and that that download that you'll get. And then I have a rubric that I use to evaluate them, which is like, how easy is it to use? What's the efficiency? What's the reliability? What's the user satisfaction? Meaning you as a user, right? Is it adaptable? And what's the quality of the output? This allows you to really be able to do a good evaluation of the tools when you're looking at them. And you can do this yourself. So I hope you take you're going to get the PDF. I think you already got the PDF of this where you'll see my evaluation rubric there. And you can actually, be able to do this yourself. So with that, I know we don't have time for questions, but I want to thank you all, because as we began today, with the big question of how do we embrace AI and the possibilities, while ensuring that we use it ethically and responsibly. We've explored like a lot of information today, and I want to thank you for being interactive with me, for being good on the in the chat and participating. Here's the QR code again. I would love your feedback. I'll be sharing this feedback with Tim and with the ELB once your feedback is in there, so we can so they can see whether there are other sessions you'd like, or how you found this specific webinar. I want to thank you. I hope you all have a fantastic day, fantastic week. Connect with me on LinkedIn. When you get the PDF that you downloaded, all of my links are clickable, so you'll be able to follow me. And I think they had posted the PDF early on in the chat. Can we post that again for everyone? If we did, I can't remember. Jen, are you online with us still? Jennifer?
Myra, I think the PDF, I think ELB is going to be sending a follow-up email with the link to the webinar and a copy of the PDF.
Okay, perfect.
Correct.
Yeah, and you'll have a link to the ELB AI info also. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic day, and thank you for joining me. I'm always humbled. Thank you, Tim, for inviting me, and I will send Dr. Kopp an email thanking him also and letting him know that I did not screw up today, that we went without a hitch. I did not get a chance to bring AI Myra on, but maybe next time.
Well, thank you. We'll save that one for next time. I'm going to go take us back to my screen very quickly, folks, as we're closing out today. Let me join everybody. Myra, thank you very much. Great job. You're seeing a lot of hearts, applause, very, very happy comments. Nice job today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
And folks, remember that article Myra wrote for L10 Focus on Training. I did drop it in the chat for you. You can also look for it through the L10 website. It'll be posted there tomorrow. That brings us to the end of today's program. I'm going to invite you to join us again. We'll be back here on Thursday talking about 10 keys to a successful learning measurement strategy. You can see other programs as well. You can register for new programs and find our on-demand programs through l-10.org/webinars. Let me just final thank yous to our speaker again, Myra Roldan, to our sponsors, ELB Learning, and to all of you for your time, attention, and participation. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.